for the microphone. Oh, that's loud. Patrick?
Hi, everybody. Is it my time already? Is Pasquale here? Where are you? There you are. Would you do me a favor and let anybody in? Durrani is sending a couple of people up. Would you, just to the front? Yeah, she's down at the elevator. She's letting people up in the lift, and if you could help them over here. So, great to have everybody here. Thanks for joining us. My name is Patrick Sharbaugh. Really fantastic to see such a huge turnout of people here tonight. I'm sure we're going to have some stragglers coming in. But in a moment, I'll introduce Marcel. But before I do that, I just want to give a huge shout out to Dentsu and to Isobar, who's allowing us so graciously and providing us such enormous assistance in hosting the meetup here tonight. The first of what we hope is going to be more of these. It's a great space, and we're really grateful to be working with them. And Tish, everybody see Tish, say hi to Tish. Thank you. She's been so awesome at helping us tonight. Also, I want to say a kind word about our sponsor, Luma Institute. Luma is a design thinking capability building around the world, and they work with lots of great organizations, and they help everyone become better designers and better innovators. So I met, just real quickly, I met Marcel about a year ago, I guess, at the last conference, which is the Lean, Agile, and Systems Thinking Conference. Sounds like a really, really boring conference. I'm aware of that. They asked me to give a couple of workshops in design thinking, and I said, this sounds like a really boring conference, but okay. And I went, and they were just jam-packed full of people. And one of the people in one of the workshops that I did was Marcel, and he came up to me afterwards, and it turns out that Marcel does visual facilitation, as you're going to see very shortly. And one of the things he asked me to do was to interview me for a podcast that he does for his website and everything. And we had a great time talking about that. And we sort of kept up, and I've wanted to get him in for a meetup for a long, long time, but he's really busy doing this stuff, as you can imagine. He's all over the place. I mean, you're in the Asia Pacific and really all over the place. So I'll let Marcel tell you a little bit more about what he does in a moment and his background. But just real quickly on the topic of what we're talking about tonight, how many people in here would consider yourselves highly creative? Highly creative? Wow. No, any kind of creative, right? Any kind of creative, right? Okay, good. Not 100%, but you never get 100% when you ask that question. If I were to ask that question of a room full of fourth graders, how many people would raise their hand? Right, pretty much all of them, right? All of them would do that, right? Something happened between them. If I had asked every fourth grader, how many of you can draw? I mean, every one of them, right? They would all be doing that. But at some point, we were all that fourth grader at some point. But between then and now, society or parents or mean kids making fun of us, somehow it got squeezed out of us. And all that's left is, in some cases, a social fear or a fear that we have that we can't do it, that we're not good artists. And that's false. We all have that ability to do it. It's just that we've forgotten how to do it, and we no longer believe we have that in here. One of the things I hope that Marcel can help you understand tonight is to sort of reconnect with that fourth grader in you, to help you understand that it's always been there. It's never gone away. It just takes peeking at it to understand how to do it. And there's a lot of great reasons why we want to be visual, not just as designers, right? Not just people who use design thinking, but just in terms of people who are in the professional world. There's so many benefits to being visual. First of all, when we are visual, right? When we're drawing, when we're, and I don't mean drawing well or professionally. I mean any kind of it. If you create a bicycle that looks like a hairball with feet, it doesn't matter, right? The point is that you are activating a part of your brain that we don't normally use when we're thinking about ideas, right? When we are visual, we're digging into a part of our brain that is much, much, much older than the linguistic part of our brain, which we're so accustomed to using to sharing ideas and to thinking about ideas. And tapping into that allows us to tap into some really interesting places, and that allows us often to be much more creative and much more abstract. Being visual also, it makes us more efficient thinkers, because when we're taking an idea, we have an idea in our head, what being visual with that does, it allows us to take the work of keeping that idea in its entirety in our head and put it out there. So we no longer have to expend all of that effort to keep that idea into our head. We can use that brain energy much more efficiently. We can think about building on that idea or different ideas, and we can do a lot more when it's out there. It also makes us much better communicators, right? Every one of us, I'm sure, has the experience of having talked to somebody, and you're talking and you're talking and you're talking, and no matter how hard you try, they're not understanding what it is that you're saying, and they're misunderstanding it. And you keep trying to explain it in a different way, and they're not getting it, and sometimes that ends up you're being defensive, and that person starts thinking that you're attacking their position, and it becomes very difficult to communicate an idea or almost anything that way. And the benefit of when all we're doing is taking that idea that we're trying to communicate and sketching it out in a very simple way, it's there. It's this third thing between us that allows us, suddenly we can start talking not at each other, but we can start talking about that thing that's down there. We can draw on it, we can notate on it, we can add to it, we can modify it. But that's the thing that we're talking about right now, not arguing over what's in our heads and why we're misunderstanding what those things are. Being visual makes us better collaborators, right? And I think that's a really important thing, especially when we're working in a team, a multidisciplinary team, where we're often, at a wall, we're putting up Post-its, we're being visual. Even if that doesn't involve sketching, it's that process of standing in front of a wall with a team of people, and you're looking in those people's eyes and talking to them and having a conversation, a debate about what it is you're doing. That kind of conversation is valuable in addition to any of the results or the output of whatever it is that you're working on the board, right? That's incredibly valuable, right? Companies like Facebook and Slack and Google and Yammer and all of those companies who are trying to create virtual collaboration solutions, that's what they're trying to replicate. That ability to stand in a group of people and to look into their eyes and talk to them, right? It's very hard to replicate. It's been billions of dollars trying to figure that out. But when we are visual, together, standing there at a board, doing it, we do that thing, right? And it's invaluable. And I would say one of the last, certainly not the last, I'm sure all of you could think of many more, but one of the great things that when we are visual is we create a sort of a permanent document, sort of a shared brain for the group, right? We're creating something that we've all worked on. It's out there. Whether we're using Post-it notes or Sharpies or sketches or any other kind of the many tools that designers and design thinkers use, that artifact is out there, right? It's on the wall somewhere where we can see it, and we can come up to it again and again and again and again. It's a stakeholder map. It's an experience diagram. It's a journey map. It's a persona, right? We can constantly walk up to those things with our team and say, remember this, and talk about that. And they're living documents as well. We can change them. And they're so much more effective as ways of accessing that information when they're visual than if that same information is buried inside a PowerPoint deck or somebody's notebook or a folder on a laptop. So you've got all these different benefits of being visual, and yet so many people are afraid to do it. They pass up and miss out on these great benefits because they're like, well, I'm not an artist, right? So I'm going to turn over to Marcel right now and help him understand why we don't need to be Da Vinci's, right? That's not the point. The point of it is not to be fantastic artists. The point is just to be able to take something that's in here and make it visible, to be able to think with our hands, right? And we're gonna let him. What do we got here? That's good. Round of applause for pretty good. Okay, buddy, all yours.
Very much, Patrick. Great to have everyone here. I hope I didn't put you on the spot with pulling you in. All right. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you, Isobar, for having me. And yeah, I'm great to spend a couple of hours. We will get highly visual in a second. And I just want to leverage on these skills of visual and verbal thinking, just to add a little something on that. So who of you think they are very good in number crunching and are very good in detail and figuring stuff out, like the project managers who really get stuff done and know exactly how to solve it? Hands up. Nice, all right. And now more the people, as Patrick said, who are more like the big picture thinker, get bored when detail comes to the meeting and just, oh my God, hands up. Okay, cool, yeah? And what should you do in a meeting if you have an average distribution of the society in your meeting, which is quite likely, by the way? But should you use detailed words, or should you use the big pictures for big thinking? Thank you. The answer is both anyway. So bikablo and the visual facilitation technique I show you tonight, it's always words and pictures. If you only take one thing home, you can leave now. Words and pictures, all right? It's not, if I decide, so I have no illustration background or anything. I was a business consultant for 10 years. I'm an agile coach. I'm a visual facilitation trainer today. And if I decide, this is a sheep. It's a sheep because I write sheep in it. From this point on, it's a sheep, yeah? So, and I think Minecraft has solved that for us. It's okay, yeah? So, yeah, I think I give you a bit of an introduction now. I think I have nothing to add to that, apart from that, what visual facilitation is. And first, I need two helpers now who jump to the front because they are the servant leaders. And I see them already rocking up to the front here. It's probably... peer pressure. Nice, I like it. All right, so please put that somewhere where we can still see it. Maybe for now, just leave it over there on the bench. Awesome. Thank you very much for rocking up. Cool. Applause. Please, for you too. Great. So that's solved. Thank you. Yeah, cheers. High five. Okay, cool. So from here, I want to give you a quick introduction into visual facilitation. Yeah? And I try to manage this with this microphone. And this is like the way we explain it in the bikablo technique. You will hear bikablo a bit more, and I will explain it in a minute what it is. But it doesn't matter what it is. It's just a drawing school. Here is my pitch on what visual facilitation is. So imagine you are rocking into the next workshop next week. And this is called in, could be a context. You share a room, yeah? Or in human system dynamics, it's called a container. We share some space, time. It could be a Skype meeting, but it could be a room we are in. So we are here in this box together, yeah? And we meet maybe because we have a problem to solve. Or you are meeting because you want to figure out what's the brand and create a new idea around this, or creating products or services. All this is then why we are getting together. And you might not think of yourself as a facilitator, but I think as soon as you put time in a calendar in Google or Outlook or whatever you use, you become one. You are in charge of the person's lifetime. If you pull 8 people for an hour in a room, you waste, if you not do it well, 8 hours of lifetime. be aware of it. I'm getting quite hard on that in my trainings, and I think it's an important skill because there's nothing more expensive. Yeah. So a facilitator is quite an important role, and here is a facilitator. He gets in charge. Facilitator of that. So you guide the people through this gray zone, right? Like especially in design thinking, we are getting into like into the gray and just playing around with ideas, and people get lost in there. So meetings have ups and downs. The workshops for over days maybe, they have ups and downs, yeah? And some people who are not in a creative space, they think, well, that's simple. It just goes this way, and voila, we reach the point and we have a new product. But it's not that simple, yeah? You might need to get even out of the room, getting onto the street, and ask people what they think about your idea, and that's even again the job of the facilitator. So, and if, by the way, if a meeting goes like this, without any trouble, without any confusion states, without anything, cancel it, please. Give the time back and walk from desk to desk. Are you on? On? Done. Solved. Yeah, you don't need to run a meeting for that one. So I think that's an important part. All right, so this is the guy who is a bit like like when the planes land in Melbourne, has this flag. I think they are not existing anymore, by the way. He's a bit like this lollipop guy who just says, come this way, yeah? And then the planes come to a full stop. All right, so he guides the meeting, and he's the facilitator. So what the heck is then a visual facilitator? So in visual facilitation, we listen carefully, or sometimes not, to what's going on, yeah? And then we capture that. And what happens is we become a marker, we become the marker for the people. We have an idea, and then we put this down onto a page. And here, maybe we have our roadmap or whatever, and the travel to there. By the way, if you work in creative space, never draw a roadmap like a street, yeah? Go for the challenge. Go for the mountain ranges and climb together. It's much better to sell if you not work in producing cups. All right, so we capture that on a big sheet of paper or whiteboard. And we make this visual. Yeah? So you see this here now. This is a horizon, and we travel there. We might add some milestones. Again, only use this for an agenda for your meeting, not for the outcomes. All right, and then we have this on the page, and then we reflect, because it's visual, reflect this back to the group. This is a reflection of what the people said. Yeah? So 3 steps here: listen, then capture, and then bring it back to the group. That's why I have a big trouble with graphic recording, because often graphic recorders are just a fly on the wall somewhere, and maybe in the break time the people have a look. Bring it back to the group, show it, run through, recap what you have, and then you do the next step. So I have like a constant circle. So what I have here is a bit of an engine in the center of facilitation. So this is like a very positive, vicious cycle of getting more creative all the time. So this is a visual facilitator. Voila, we bring this together. We have a visual facilitator. So, questions so far on that? Okay. Yeah. Great question. All right. Is the facilitator always the person who draws? I think when you run a workshop or so, pass the pen on as soon as you can. Engage as many people as you can, which is a great point to do this. Hello? Good. Yeah, so no. The answer is no. It can be to get it started, but as soon as you feel like please make everyone draw. So, on that, I want to hand out now a couple of pages here. Please grab from the sheet here and pass on at least a stack of paper, maybe 4 or 5 pages, because you need to draw in a second, and everyone has Sharpies here in the middle. At least 5, 6 pages, so that you have a pack, that you have not one page. If you have a book, it's great. Yes, please help to pass them on. The orange ones are just refilled. They are great. You might not have enough for them, so please grab a Sharpie, which are on the floor here, and then we do a little exercise. If you don't have a notebook, I have a couple of clipboards here. You can just grab one. Cool. Just grab one. Let me give you a fresh one. If there are any notes on, they are just confidential. Just read them and publish them on the website. If you open the orange ones, they are chisel tips, they are refillable. If you want to put me out of business, just take them home. If you like me by the end of this talk, please bring them back. Yeah? Then I can still teach this. All right, now everyone has a piece of paper? Hands up if you don't. Woohoo! Looks good. Okay, so now here's a little exercise. By the way, what's your name?
Max.
Max, is this mine or yours? Good. Okay, so please have a look at this page. And now we split this up, and I put this microphone aside for a second. You see that? There are 2 lines. They are vertical, or if you prefer to do them sideways, and then you turn the page, okay? Try to copy me. This is what I did. There's 2 lines that you split up the page in 3 parts. All right, from here, I give you 30 seconds, and do you have a clock?
Yeah.
Cool, here. You have? Nice. Can you give me a timer of 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
All right, no pressure, guys. In a second, you have 30 seconds time to draw 3 animals. And why are you freaking out? All right, so in each of those ones, you draw 1, yeah? If you prefer to do it this way, you can do it 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, yeah? However, please draw, in the next 30 seconds, a dog, a cat, and a mouse. Go. Eight, 7, 6, 5. Okay, you get 10 more because you're nice. Pause it. 10, 9. I see great drawings. All right, done. Okay, you're 20% over budget. That's okay, I think, for every project. So let's leave it here. Yeah? We are 40 seconds in. Good. Guys, so this is called, by the way, vulnerability. and it's a great way to connect with people. However, you will learn a skill in a minute to run awesome meetings without freaking out. So please put up your hand if you have whiskers for a cat. We are at 98%. It's perfect. I expected nothing less. Hands up if you have a long tail for a mouse. You all passed. Congratulations. Thank you very much for drawing with me. So why the heck I'm asking those questions? Exactly. Yes, it's a conceptualization. Distillation. Yeah, to the essence. Absolutely. Yeah. I think we nailed it. We locked this in. So the essence, the features. Yeah. Draw the essence. And here's my mouse. Yeah. Maybe we can even give it a little eye. Okay. No one draw something, a box, and put a mouse word in? No? Work as well. Okay. Yeah. So on that, this is now what the heck is bikablo? So about 10 years ago, there was a group of people who just started being asked to visualize workshops. And right now we are around 30 people on this planet. And we try to find a way to teach people who, on the other sheet, think they can't draw, to reactivate, as Patrick said, their drawing skills. So this group is called bikablo. And then it's from Germany, and I translated it, so it's called an academy. If you ever want to know how to write it in German, this is it. All right, so this group has a mission, and it's helping people to learn to, maybe I should know the mission, to learn better and to collaborate better through visualization. And this is, by the way, the coffee cup I learned when I started with bikablo in 2008. This is a nice, quick coffee cup, right? So in a minute, I show you a coffee cup that looks like this. Right? Still, the meaning of a coffee cup, but double speed. Yeah, because I can't say, please wait until I finish my coffee cup to tell you I will do a break now for a coffee cup, yeah? For a coffee break. So we simplify and we meet again twice a year on a retreat where we just think of what we learned and bring it back together. We, by the way, have an America tour this year. We do 7 trainings, and we do a road trip from East Coast to West Coast with a group of people. Yeah, so this is the bikablo Academy, and I'm the trainer for New Zealand and Australia. I live here, and yeah, I live between Hamburg and Melbourne, and I'm traveling for trainings around the Asian Pacific. All right. So the next thing I would like to do with you is, or we might do another quick exercise. Please grab a fresh sheet of paper. I think we have the time. Sorry? The dog was the last one. What do you want to know? What the features? Ah, right. That's a good question. Anyone? Any good ideas? Fluffy ears? Yeah, like hanging ears or something. Yep. Okay. I think, for example, Snoopy's nose from Disney, like the wet and pointy one, could be a feature. Yeah. Dog is definitely not as straight. But here's a question: who drew a cat from the front? Hands up. Yeah. Who drew it from the side? A bit less. Who drew a dog from the front? right, and from the side, that's more. So that's quite something that often happens, that the dog is drawn sideways and the cat is front because it has this face which is even stronger. Yeah, this is a attacking view of a cat. However, let's try to practice one little icon. So this one is for you if you walk home and if someone asks you what you did to this evening, or you have a beer with a friend and you want to tell him, or he tells you he can't draw, then you do the following exercise. Please write on the top of this page, roughly at the same space where I would have, these letters, U, Z, M, and O. Usmo. Or Usmo. Not a German word, forget it. Great. All right. So I do this here, then everyone can see this better. And if someone tells you, oh, I can't draw, then ask him to write this. And if he can't write, maybe ask him to leave. Or all right, let's rearrange those letters to something new. All right, and the new thing is we start with a U down at the bottom of your page, roughly here. Can you see that? Yep. Then we put the Z across. Then, can you see that, everyone? Cool. Then we put an M on top of the U. That. All right. And then from here, we put the O around, and voila, we have the international symbol for an idea. Okay? So Usmo is, by the way, a book of one of the founders of the bikablo Academy. It's coming out this year in English. All right, so from here, I want to tell you what we do. We need to activate your complex visual thinking skills now. And we do this by merging icons like we did here together. Yeah? So what I want to have out of the next session is that you walk home with a first visual dictionary you can use for your space where you work. You might find an area or one complex word that we can use the one. So let me show you first before I explain what we do. You can use this as a reference in a second. The bikablo icon wall. These are just the objects. Yeah. So you can reference if you don't know how to visualize la la la. Yeah, we come back to that, and you can just pick one. I probably work on a flip chart page. Then you can look at this one. I don't use pins. So. Yeah, people often ask whether I get paid by 3M or something. I don't. All right, so what bikablo is, maybe this is an important step as well. It's a systematic approach to drawing. Yeah, it's not a creative skill. Like I wasn't sure whether I should put up my hands when Patrick asked I'm creative, because my creativity comes back to cooking and not to drawing. All what I do is pretty much repeated hundreds of times. Yeah. It's like when you write an email, and you have done this before. You wrote a quote. It's not new. You have done this, and you are very good in it, and you write this quote or something, right? So the same applies here. So we put basic shapes like the U, Z, M, and O together from our alphabet and coming up with a symbol. Yeah? We call them pictograms. And then we can use pictograms and put them together to explain complex terms. Because no one of us probably has an idea how to visualize life insurance. There is no idea. Or Anyone wants to give me another? We can go with life insurance, but is there another word you would like to visualize? Come on. Superannuation. Shall we go with that? Let's go superannuation. So this is now an explainer for you what I asked you to do in groups of 6, probably in a minute, yeah? Together. So you will self-organize in groups of 6. And then you find this word that we just logged in, thanks to Lucy. All right. Superannuation. All right. So you put this word into the middle. And then you create a circle around, probably a bit smaller than this one. And now I want to hear a couple of words, not pictures, that you associate with super. Thank you. Money. Go on, I just move on. What? Nest egg. Retire. Life. Future. Security. Go on. Investment. Go on. Growth. Fees. What else? H. Okay, I take H. We had government. All right. Anything else? Choice. Okay. I have no space left. Okay. So looking at this icon wall, I already start seeing a couple of those we could use. By the way, we just dismantled this thought with putting it to simple words. We can actually imagine money, yeah? And this is how you draw bag of money, right? Like in Disney, it's Donald Duck, or maybe the smaller money is maybe dollar here, a stack of notes, or my retirement is just some coins here. All right, so this is, you find those icons here, yeah? All right, go next, nest egg. Any idea? It's for me a house. Wall Street or something. Was it, yeah, stock exchange, right? Logo is not, just go with a bank. This is how Wall Street looks like from now on. All right? Retirement? Walking stick. I might have influenced your thoughts. Yeah, this J walking stick. Life? Well, there's an international symbol for that. Future? Oh, anything else for life? Please. There's more. Gravestone. Gravestone. All right, rip. Yeah? Future? Sorry? Ceiling? Sailing. Oh, sailing into the future. Nice, and then to the sunset. Yeah? Security? Padlock or something. Looks like. Shield. I like it. I think this padlock is over there, and the shield could be like this. Or the one from Captain America. Investment. Dollars again. So we just copy paste this over here. Government. Huh? A suit? Like a tie? A what? A clown, okay. I have no idea for a clown. Anyone good idea? Wants to try a clown? Okay. Okay, we put Twitter here, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's move on to H. A clock. Hourglass. Wow. Not sure. Okay, here's some sand in there that drops down, right? Piece, it's money again. Grows. A shard. What else? Oh, yes, the tree. So my tree always looks like a nuclear explosion, but that's the tree. All right. So this is our brainstorming around our visual vocabulary, right? We all had that. Yes, there were a couple of them were here, but really, you came up with it for a big part. So now we do our first iteration. Let's pick your favorites. I picked one. I put money onto the game. Like Jeopardy. I buy money. Okay, what else? Life. I like security. I can do something with that. Let's go our first iteration. Let's see how that goes. We have money, we have security, and we have life. So it's a bit like a Lego box, what I'm doing now. I have money here, I have security. Maybe I just start with money. Maybe put in retire and money. Just making this up, but I'm combining this. And then we had security. This is my first iteration on retirement money or superannuation. Yeah. So we do, this is one, and then we come to number 2, and then we come to number, this is 1, this is 2, this is then maybe 3. So I want to invite you to do a couple of iterations. Yeah, the first one is not the best. All right? So from here, please, in a minute, split up into probably groups of 6. Find a spot. There's one, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one, and there's one. And we have there in the back one. And just self-organize in those groups and come up on the first flip chart with the word you want to visualize. Yeah, in this case, superannuation. On the one flip chart, you do what I did here. And then I will call out, stop your brainstorming and try to implement to step number 2 to build this new key visual. It's what we call it in bikablo. Yeah? So just, we come up with basic shapes, 2 symbols, they're over there. Then you take those symbols, put them next to your simple words you find for your word, and then in the next step, I have a look at the clock, and then we merge them to the second paper, yeah? To the right side, you have 2 flip chart papers, so please stay on the left side until we give you a go for the second page. If you need a spare one, we have spare paper, right? But just for the step process we have here, very precise, no. Yeah, please self-organize now in groups of 6 and find a spot to draw, and we might open up more spaces if you don't, but please make sure that you have a group of 6 now. Leave them first. Guys, if you don't have a group, please come to the middle. Please come to me and we have a chat. If you can't find a group or the groups are all full, please come to me. So, what's over there in the middle? Can you two maybe, there is one and left of it is one, so make sure that you claim one. Guys on the top there, can I clearly see how the groups are organized? So we have, just make sure, are you in the game there? Are you in the game or not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you three, please come down. Please merge with someone you don't know, so don't be afraid of meeting new people. This is what a meetup is about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you are one group, yeah? Okay, cool. And you with the blue shirt, what's your name? Colin, nice to meet you, Colin. You just join this group. 4, 5. Yeah, nice. And then we might create another spot. So the people. Patrick?
Two of them have 7.
That's perfect. Great. Okay, guys, you now have 5. No. Let's say, I like this man. You have 30 seconds time to find your word. Do it now. "20 seconds left to come up with your word." I see the first words. Social enterprise. All right. We start at the table here. What's your word? So what's your word?
Cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity is word number 1. What's your word? Travel. That's very simple, but let's see. Go ahead. What's your word? You have 10 more seconds. What's your word? Add maybe to holiday a bit more like holiday plan or something. It's more complex than just holiday. So just come up with something a bit more complex than holiday. Yeah? But or stay with holiday and we see what comes up. You have, by the way, you have 10 more seconds. All right, what do we have over here? Digital strategy and real estate. And what is our word in the middle? Puberty is almost in the middle there, yes. And what's over here? Social media. And the last one is social enterprise. They are very fast. They're already starting with the circle. Great. All right. Can I introduce a new game? The game goes like this. When I do this, you get quiet and put up your arm. Can you try this? Don't have to shout. And you just be quiet. Try this on the floor. It works. People think, what the heck is going on? Is it crazy, this guy? Okay. You don't have to introduce it. It's actually working. All right. So now please put the circle around your word. And then try to, as I did, find simple words in the middle, inside the circle line. And outside, you put the icons you find to that. Yeah? I think at least 6, 7 words is a good idea. You can go with a clock. Do like 8 words. It's simple. Yeah, and do it now.
Are you adding more words in, or?
I added one more. Sorry. There was a space. Money. Travel. Party.
Probably space for one more there.
Okay.
So what do you want to? Open ideas for.
Okay, so party would be like a party hat or balloons.
Both. Yeah, do both.
Okay, travel would be
Airplane.
money,
You just do like
money
dollar
bag. I guess it's a lot of money, so
bag of
Bag
bag
of
of
bag of. I
Bag of
think
money?
bag of money.
piggy bank is actually good because you save up money. Yeah,
That's true. Piggy bank is
Piggy can drop a money. How do you draw a piggy bank? Yeah, and then dots. The head. I like big here. There we go. Oh yeah, just needs the nose.
cute. Oh my god, that's great. Okay, responsibility. Yeah, you could do one person and a smaller person. People.
That's why I like doing groups with people.
Yeah, like a group of people. When I think of it, like a lollipop. But that's probably sweet, like
Oh yeah, that's what he said.
oh yeah, everyone's supposed to grow up. Young, like maybe just put a
Baby.
I was thinking like
Baby.
a stork.
Yeah, sort
Nice.
That's pretty
Good.
good.
fun.
Party hats. That would be like.
Good job. That's nice. Okay. How about like a master, like
What about like Polaroids or like a camera?
Guys, I see great work so far.
Just like the sleeper mode.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to stop you, but
There you go. Nice. Relax. What else?
see, it works. Just the other half of the room hasn't noticed, but it's okay. So, guys, one thing I see is if you have trouble, like you come up with quite complex symbols already. So you have like a symbol safari, as we call it, inside each symbol. If you have trouble to find very simple icons, go with the ones you have a very simple icon for straight away, and then maybe come to the front and go shopping there. Yeah? Just to, if there's like something you might find useful. So, and I think in a couple of minutes, we then start with the first iteration. And I want to open this up even to your own, like you did this creative first, and then grab your clipboard, and you can, for a second, maybe do all a version and then share. Yeah? So we do that? Okay. So next step from here, please grab your clipboard, and then think in silence for a moment to merge the first version of those symbols to your new key visual for yourself.
Okay.
But stay with your group. Yeah? Please don't split the group. Stay with your group just in silent. Draw a first version. You have 5 minutes to draw from here the first version on A4.
Okay, individually, is it? We just do it all individually? Do we have to choose 3 together or we choose our own?
Three more minutes for your own first version. Guys, please go back to your group and share your version, and then pick your
Let's see yours. You got that. Okay. Yeah, cool. I like that.
All right. So please, as I said, share what you did and find the simplest one in all your versions, the one that's most visual, most simple, and then work from there. Copy it to a big sheet, to the big sheet of paper, to the other pawn, and then do another iteration together.
You're gonna draw. Everyone can draw. You drew it. Do exactly that. That's perfect. You know the word actually. Once we draw. Yeah, don't write it. Don't write the word. Just one.
Making it up, yes.
Okay. Thanks, Isaac.
Yeah, that's right. So the first one is the first iteration that goes up there.
You're doing such a good representation of what the continents look like.
I have no idea what it looks like.
That's okay, right?
I'm just making it up.
Awesome. Good job.
So much better when it's smaller.
No, that looks fantastic. I used to draw quite a lot. I worked in a creative team. But in the creative section team, so I Photoshop a lot. I don't know like when I do draw, they're like, oh, it's very easy drawings. I used to be in it, so I haven't practiced it.
All right. You have 3 more minutes to finalize your version, and then we do a presentation. 3 more minutes on a big sheet of paper because you need to show it.
with a pen. Oh, it's with a pen. I thought it was just showing through. Sorry, a bit far away.
So, you have shit eyesight.
Even with glasses. Without my glasses, I actually can't even see. My favorite thing about your piggy bank is that it's like looking back.
All right. Guys, thank you very much. We need of each group. Cool. That works too. We need of each group 2 people. One person holds the flip chart and one person presents the flip chart. And we just start around the circle from here, around the room to there. And I would like to invite the people to show what they have so far. Yeah, you're never done. Just relax and show what you have until now. And are you ready to roll? Can you come to the front? I've seen awesome work. So 2 people, and I hand over the microphone to the first group. Please welcome Cybersecurity.
All right, we'll start with the one in the middle. Cybersecurity, we're looking at a computer with a lock and the network symbol. We had a few different iterations. We've got a Trojan horse with leaking running into a firewall, a robot representing cyber, and combination. Some variations on locks and computers. We have a fortress, once again with a firewall, a robot. And then we have a Trojan horse, fishing, and then we're stopping the criminal as well, who's obviously inside the Trojan horse. And then we've got a simple one here with the fortress as well, with the thing.
So we came up with travel was our word, and we narrowed it down to just honeymoon because we thought travel was a bit broad. So then we iterated to version 2.1 was our final one. We started with just the Eiffel Tower, rings, and airplane for international travel. Then we moved on to put a love heart around it for honeymoon. And then we decided to flick the Eiffel Tower and put an island because we thought that was more of a honeymoon destination. So that's where we ended up at the last one.
Next one.
Okay, so our word was gap year. We went around and we started with party, travel, money, friends, young, fun, and experience. And then we wanted to draw those things, so turn it around. And our final symbol was, we've got the earth for travel, and we've split the earth in half to represent the gap year, which has an airplane and which represents travel as well, and a camera representing memories and experience that you get during your gap year.
Our random word that we chose was midwives, which is a little ambitious. I think we nailed it though. Had pregnancy, support, baby, life, hospital. In the end, ignore that one. We finished with support and the baby and also the life.
All right, next. Please come to the front. Who's next? Digital strategy. We go around the circle, so real estate, please prepare. Guys from real estate, please line up. All right, I hold it for you. Guys, next, please line up here at the front, real estate, and then after that, around the clock.
Hi everybody, so we chose digital strategy. We went on a bit of a journey, it's fair to say. Chose quite a lot of words, some about people, some about the internet and digital things, and some about strategy, thinking. And so that came out where we looked at the world which represented the internet and a road going to it. The second one, we went on to doing a plan, going towards the cloud in there. And then Marcel challenged us to simplify it a bit. So, yeah, we had another crack. Still went with the cloud, we didn't feel that was quite right. And then, bam, right there. A plan with a computer in the middle, people. Digital strategy. Done.
Awesome. Real estate. And please line up puberty.
Please. So we chose real estate, which we thought would be quite easy, but we'll get to that in a second. So things like houses, obviously, banks, auctions, investment, renting, restoration and building were our keywords. We started off with this one, which we thought was the most simple thing ever, until someone said, "Is that a bank?" So Then we tried the iteration 2 down here, which I thought looks like people smuggling because we're selling people. It's okay, they lived. It's fine. And then down here was the most simple one we could come up with, for sale, and it's a house.
So we chose an awkward one, puberty. And we went through a journey of pimples, first love, secrets, voice breaks, rebel, excessive hair, awkward. To balance it out, because voice breaks is guys, so we thought we had to do a female one for awkward. Diversity. High school braces. And the easiest ones for us was pimples, braces, what was the other one? Rebel. School. So first iteration, we drew everything, and it wasn't very simplified. And then we had a huge aha moment when we drew the cigarette in his fist, and we realized, oh, that's like a middle finger, and that's rebel, and that's everything in one. So then we ended up oversimplifying it. And we thought maybe that doesn't exactly capture it. So we had to bring back the pimples in the final round. And we put a slogan on his t-shirt, I do what I want, F you. So
All right, and the next one is social enterprise goes next because they're ready. All right.
Okay, so we started off with social enterprise and started coming up with our ideas around vision, doing good, global growth, and then contradicting ourselves by saying not-for-profit and generating money and profit at the same time. And for purpose, which we sort of came up with weird smiling clouds and people over here. And so the symbols we came up with, we're stealing some of them from the board and also some that we came up with ourselves. And from there, we went through quite a lot of iterations. So we started off with a lovely design from Roz, which was really good because she included words as well as pictures, and had our profit for purpose, which was really great. Our version 2 was just adding some extra bits and pieces in, so unsimplifying it, getting really, really complex. And we went through a whole heap of other ones. From globes with people, smiling angels, people in the planet, to sort of like a Superman globe money. Equity working money flowers globes, so we're getting really, really complex. And then we sort of at the end we came up with the fact that we're trying to help people all around the world, and we started doing circles around the globe. Like this. Then we came up with another one that Roz came up with, so excellent, which was a smiley happy person hugging the world with a heart and money and so forth. So we didn't actually come up with a final one, but I mean, I'm sort of going for, you know, either the smiley huggy man here or the first one that we actually came up with, which was the most simple.
Yeah, so our word was social media. So yeah, we just chose, I think first one that we started off with photos. We went around to users, sharing messages, community, obsessive, love, connection. Interestingly enough, family and friends were last on the list. So you can read into that what you will. And then we just chose connecting community, sharing, actually not sharing, sorry, messages, and then photos. And then we came up with the following items. And sorry, what was your name? Chai came up with this beautiful, simplistic design where sort of everybody's sort of in a group The photos are connecting with the messages, connecting with the people, and it's sort of all community and all connection, sort of all rolled up into one. Then we kind of thought about the world as sort of a broader thing, and it's sort of just circling around the world. And then somebody brought up the brilliant point that Facebook and social media these days are more consumptive. And then I drew this little one down here where there's a big Pac-Man face consuming all of this junk, music, and then, I know that wasn't one of our words, but you know, and messages, and then the phone, and then the pictures. So yeah, that's how we came up with social.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So let's recap how we'd have done this. You found a word you don't know how to visualize. Then you decomposed it to simpler words. And then you found the pictures to those simple words. And then and the last step, you merged them into into a new version. You can do as many versions as you want, right? So a simple step, we called it bikablo symbol safari. And I want to thank you for joining me on this visual thinking journey for a moment, and hand over back to Patrick. Actually, I wanted to do another step, but we will choose to do it in a pub next door, because we have to be out here at 8:30. So you're very welcome, and I will hand over to Patrick to say a couple of words, and I try to visualize him. Oh, here, cool.
Thanks, Marcel. First of all, this is great. This is lovely. Did you want people to tweet images here? What was the tweet away, right?
If you want to tweet, it's bikablo, bikablo, ANZ, or my name is Marcel van Hove. Both is bikablo. Okay, I write it down.
Yeah, we are going to continue because our fantastic hosts need to get home to their families, and so we're going to clear out of here in just a few minutes. We got a few minutes, but we're going to continue the conversation. For anybody who's interested, we're going to go next door to the George Hotel, just up the street. I did want to say a couple of things, though. I need another marker. Who's got a marker for me? Yep. Okay, great. So a lot of this stuff looks like, again, you know, you're going, okay, well, a lot of this looks. Marcel's stuff obviously looks really good, but a lot of our stuff looks maybe like we just started doing this, and maybe we're a little shy about that, and we feel it doesn't look as good as his stuff, so maybe I shouldn't be doing this in public. But I really want to make sure that we understand that there's actual value, a lot of value, in creating things that don't look finished. He says, Marcel a little earlier said it doesn't need to look finished, and I want to make sure that we understand how much value there is when things don't look finished. There's good reasons for that, because sometimes if we think about when we're creating objects that we want to put in front of people and we want to get feedback on them, because that's the whole point of a lot of what we do in design. We take ideas out of our head as quickly and as soon as we can, and we put it out there, because when we do that, it means people can react to it and they can tell us what they think of it. And that's where the gold is, right? It's no good if it lives up in here, right? The earlier and the sooner we can get an idea out in the real world where other people can engage with it, the earlier and the sooner we can get actual, useful, good feedback on that. And that allows us to create innovative ideas, right? But the only problem with that is that all of us, naturally, human nature, we don't want to put those ideas out there until we think that they are perfect, right? That's just the way that we work. We don't want to show it until we spent all this time and massaged it and shined it and polished it, and then we're finally ready to put it out there. But there's an interesting relationship between time, the amount of time that we spend on something, and how much we fall in love with that thing. And you can probably all understand what that relationship is. It goes exactly like this. The more time we spend on something, the more we fall in love with it. Sometimes this is called the iron law of design, right? And the point with this is that as designers, we don't want to work up here. We don't want to live up here until we absolutely have to, right? We want to work down here, right? And there's two reasons for that. And one of those is because when we're spending all of our time down here, we have something that feels unfinished, then it's easy to ask for feedback. When somebody says that sucks, or they throw up all over it, or they give us feedback on it, no problem. I only spent a little bit of time on this, right? That's easy to accept that feedback and make it better. And conversely, by the same token, when we're asking people to give us feedback, when they see something that is relatively unfinished and it doesn't have a whole lot of time in it, they're much more willing to give us honest, genuine, authentic, useful feedback, right? But when they see something that's up here and it's really beautiful and refined, people are naturally unwilling to give us honest feedback. When we have spent weeks and weeks and weeks working on a PowerPoint presentation or a project brief, and it's a 50-page brief, and we go in there and give a presentation on it, and we say, okay, everybody, what did you think? What are we really asking for? High fives. That's all we want. We don't want honest feedback on that. We want high fives. So as designers, we want to live down here, right? So for all of you who are looking at the sketches that you did, and you feel like that's kind of sucky, it ought to be sucky, right? That's a good thing. Don't worry about that. There's value in living down here until we absolutely have to live up here, okay? So once again, I want to give a big shout out to the people at Dentsu and Isobar. Thank you so much for having us, guys. And all of you who are here, thank you so much. The meetup group is growing super fast. Many of you may have gotten a note from me when you joined. If you joined within the past 6 months or so, we're growing by, I don't know, 10, 12 people a week at this point. It's really blowing up, and that tells me there's a lot of interest in this, which is so encouraging. I think it's almost time for us to maybe think about stepping away from the meetup.com platform and becoming our own sort of autonomous thing. And so we're going to be working on that. I want to thank Darren, of course, really very helpful tonight. And who else? Where was somebody else? There we are. Pasquale, right, of course. And I don't think that's, I think that's all. I think in June, we're thinking about doing more of a networking event, which is just going to, because I know many of you are very interested in meeting like-minded people, and tonight we didn't have a lot of time for the kind of networking that we would normally like to have, because we just packed a whole lot into tonight. But we do want to schedule events that allow people just to mingle and talk with the job hunters, to find the job havers, and the people who just want to do some mingling and networking. So I think we're going to put together an event that's specifically about that in June. In July, I think we're looking at hosting an event, probably a bigger event is the way it's looking like, which it's going to be sort of a panel discussion, I think, which is themed at helping people understand how we can sell design thinking, design-led culture change to the leadership in an organization, right? Sometimes that's a hard sell, and we don't know how to go about that. And I think there's a lot of value and a lot of interest in understanding what are the strategies that we do for bringing HCD into an organization that desperately needs it, which is most of them. So, Marcel, thanks again for joining us tonight. And thank all of you. And anybody who wants to continue the conversation will be at the George Hotel just up the street next to on the corner of South Melbourne Market.